Hey, welcome. Whack you to the sack of hammers here. Yes, I had a guest for a moment, and I was so pleased to have him, a lovely husky. And as soon as he saw I wanted him to be my guest, I think he was he ran screaming. So welcome. It's great to see you, and it has been a while, has it not? No, I won't start singing, I promise. The jokes don't get any better, and neither has the music. In fact, I haven't played a note. I haven't been in the studio for, well, since the day I rage quit. I guess I got so disheartened, so discouraged, and I decided it was just time to focus on healing for a minute, and in every in every way, and certainly physically, we were looking for some kind of answers to why I was continuing to be ill without all this tests and all the symptoms and everything were, simply that I was in preternaturally good health, except for the things that that weren't working out. And so after, about a year of that, it was so frustrating, and everything was going poorly, and I just felt lost. And I think it's one of the most difficult things for anyone to, I think, lose their rudder or feel like they've lost their way. There's no place to go, right? There's no home. And I spent some time thinking, boy, that's an understatement, right? I have spent a lot of time thinking and learning. And I think one of the things that has um, come to me uh, is that we are so focused on, the material and what's around us in the now, and being happy, right? We always want to be happy. And our happiness seems to be largely an aversion to pain, that we dislike it. And so our sense of happiness and joy is measured by the reduction and mitigation of pain, how free we are from pain. And yet, I think it's clear to see for any student of society, if you've studied history, that those societies which become peaceful and pain-free, it's been said, but how's the saying go, that hard times make hard men, and hard men make good times, and good times make soft men, and soft men make hard times. And I think that is certainly borne out in what we see around us. But that we have an aversion to death. We will not, at least our culture, the Western culture, we will do everything we can to not talk about it. We use euphemisms of every kind. And again, it always seems that if we have a hope of life eternal, why do we fear so badly going through that door? We have, of course, an inherent survival instinct. And yet, the terror of what lies on the other side is, for most people, so unimaginable that they spend every waking moment of their entire life doing whatever they can to amuse themselves, distract themselves. And in fact, we even use these strange euphemisms, we're killing time, right? It's funny. Anyway, I digress. We have this aversion to pain and suffering, and we do all that we can to avoid it, and it is certainly unpleasant. And, for anyone who has gone through any major physiological pain, and thankfully I mostly haven't. I did have surgery and gone through a few things that were very painful indeed. One of the things I think anyone who's gone through intractable pain for a period of time can say is that while you remember the circumstances and you remember it being painful, there's a certain aspect of it that you cannot remember the physical pain. You cannot draw those physical remembrances, and probably for a good thing, right? A good reason. But that we avoid pain as best we can for as long as we can, and that's our measurement of happiness. And yet, as if we were to be happy and amused without thought, without inspiration, that we would again be aimless. And as I give it more consideration and thought, what I find is that certainly in my life and in many of the lives that I've seen from people that I admire and respect, that it's been frankly said that for God to use a man greatly, he must break him deeply. And I've seen it to be true for many, and I certainly see, if we look to heroes of legend, the imperfections find their way to be an opening for grace. Earlier today, my wife asked me if there was any leftovers from the meal that I'd made yesterday, just some simple vegetables, corn, potatoes, and stuff. And I knew we had the potatoes, and I was like on the corn, and I was about to say yes because there is some, but no, because I forgot to put it away. I'd put it in the oven to let it cool before I put it in the fridge, and plus it went bad because it sat there overnight, and it was gross. Right, I just totally spaced it, totally forgot, and I was so angry with myself. Right, and she's like, "You must, you must not." Be so unkind, and I immediately stopped and think of profusely, because I know that we all have a propensity for this unkindness that pervades and surrounds us right now. We so quickly do it to ourselves. I guess I digress for a moment, but this idea of sort of grace in the midst of trauma, and that we want to avoid pain with all our might. And yet, what I find is both an experience and an observation that it is only through, not sometimes true, but almost exclusively, only through adversity that comes growth. Certainly, many analogies of this can be found, like weightlifting, right? It's only the resistance of weight that we can tear down muscle, and that's painful, but that's what allows us to grow, and it's the only way to do it. So I used to be of the mind, right, that pain was inevitable, but suffering is optional, right? That if we roll around in the mud and wallow about in our self-pity, I still don't think that's a good idea, right? But again, I think we're so quick to want to extricate ourselves from painful situations that we are loath to look at it deeply and understand the nature of it and how it came to be, and why it hurts. Because certainly, I think again, it's an easy observation to say that we often say it's not what happens to you, it's what happens in you. But for two people, a similar circumstance, right? Two children can be at an amusement park, and one drops their ice cream cone and has PTSD for life, and another is in an accident, right? That causes them to lose nearly, to be permanently disfigured, and yet they rise to the top. So what is it that makes the difference, right? It's what's inside us, and how we approach and how we deal with these things. And I think largely, especially as we grow older, hopefully, as we grow older, and if we take the time to examine our surroundings, our experiences, and learn that there is a great deal of value in understanding the nature of suffering and why things hurt. Why does that hurt? Am I hurt because someone doesn't like me, right? Or am I hurt because if I feel like if I feel that my integrity is being challenged, right, wrongly, or if I feel like I'm being misunderstood or misinterpreted or all these things. So why even is that a bother? Why should it matter? And to whom should I appeal? To whom should I seek acceptance? I think the answer to that is clear. But I suppose I bring all this up, right? It's just a retrospect of where I've been, just lost in thought, right? Deep consideration of so many things that how, and I'd love to share these things with you, right? How it is that we find ourselves so lost because we've had everything stolen from us. We've had our history and the nature of who we are stolen, and what that means, what it means to not be able to generationally build on the foundations of others and share the knowledge from one to another the way the ancients and our ancestors did. And we've been sold a lie that the best thing to do to show your value is to ignore, especially your parents, right? But everything that every adult, because they're stupid, has to offer you, and to find your own way and to show them up, right? And by yourself and independently. That's the we've been sold, and so we deny every available resource of intellect and wisdom and experience to find out for ourselves. And hopefully we do well. And most of the time we learn hopefully by experience and by failure. Hopefully we fail forward, if that's a thing. Not everyone does, but ultimately, most people, if they learn anything at all, they're well into middle age. I know, my life is, as I get older, I realize that having health issues makes you face your own mortality. And I learned early on, in fact, even from my 20s, that the older I got, the one bad thing about getting older is that every year I lose more friends, right? And so every year I have fewer of those long-term relationships. And it makes you observe and consider your own mortality. And certainly now, right, I have so few years remaining, even on a good day, right? 25 years, it goes by so quickly, right? Again, considering Madeline, how quickly the last 10 years have gone, it's remarkable. And I guess that brings me to time. Where are we at? And I've had a number of people, and first, I guess I neglected this part because I wanted to say this. Thank you so much. I have so many people to thank who literally saved my life. Obviously, David and Jenny. Thank you so much for just daily encouraging me to continue on. David Best, you are the best. Ronald Lee, and there's all those to whom I owe apologies, Mojo and Don and Steve, and I forget so many that I owe apologies to for having just dropped the ball in relationship and not gotten back with you over time. So I promise, not intentional. Just when hermitage takes over, it just sort of does, and you find yourself just becoming more and more sort of a. Orientation is locked. Oh dear. Oh dear. I made a terrible mistake. I'm so sorry. I was just going to take a little walk as we talked here, because I got into some shadows and I saw some light peek out over here, and I thought, hey, wouldn't that be great to step into the light for a moment? But maybe not, right? Maybe I did poorly. Anyway, I just wanted to. I have missed you guys just so much, and oh God, so much. I miss you. I just wanted to spend some time with you today of all days, and just say that you know, as I do talk to a few of you, and I find that I'm not the only one who's just facing a shitstorm, um, and it feels like we are taking it from every side. And so to that, I would like to say, like, right, I'm the guy to say it, right? But be of good cheer. We who have a hope, we have hope, right? And it is an undying hope, and it's an eternal hope, and it's real. See, that's the thing. And things that I want to say, just unvarnished. What's the new term? Unbreaded. I'm gonna go unbreaded on y'all. Get on down with your bad self, right? So here, so let's take some time in the coming weeks to, if you're willing to spend some time together and just talk about time. So uh, what's going on, right? And we look around us and holy fuck balls, right? Uh, Everything from the turd is the word from the herd, and my dog stepped on a beat, right? To Ukraine and oh God, Marilyn Manson, shit, holy shit balls. Sorry, that's gross, but everything, right? This like the poke and the jab um, and the snatch and grab and all the, oh my gosh, life and death and all the things, and justices and dogs and cats and bunnies and oh my, oh dear, it's a mess out there, isn't it? Um, but be not dismayed, right? If you have not yet found a solace and a place in the arms of the Creator, right? I adjure you now to do it, because we'll talk more about time and where it feels like we are right now. But I think I want to throw this out there, right? Time is, I think well, maybe by virtue, again, I'm getting older. So when I say, hey, we're running out of time, maybe that's just me, right? And maybe I am. And so that's why I feel it so strongly. But I do, that time is ticking away. And that we have less of it with each passing day, and that we have to maximize it and use it. And if we are wasting time, spending time on worthless pursuits, then what I see coming is that this is not an easy get. That this is going to be, and I think in the words of J. Bro, right, that he was very clear with us that broad is the path that leads to destruction, and very narrow, right, straight is the gate. So few, for so many reasons, and none of them because of a vengeful, rule-keeping, angry demiurge. That's not who our Creator is. But the only way for you to know that is to get to know Him, right? Find out for yourself, because no one can tell you. And the old saying is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And you can offer somebody knowledge, but you cannot make them thirsty for it. Never. And so I can never introduce that thirst to someone. For anyone who has it, he can fill it. But if you don't have it, no one can make you hungry or thirsty. But for those who do, it appears that it's not just a simple desire going to get us through here. It is going to be unimaginably challenging. And should we find ourselves, I guess this is what I want to say. I think it's important to say, should we find ourselves in a situation where our opportunity for communication is limited by virtue of any number of things, I think our best and only real hope is that we have so well come to know within our spirit, the speaking of the Spirit and the leading of Dad, that He can lead us and guide us to the others. I've experienced it in the last few weeks, right? With great clarity. I know others have too. It's not just me. I'm not claiming anything super great here, but I am saying that I know that it's happening, right? That if you can still yourself and look inside, you can see. Sort of like David's what friend finder, right? Flatter's friend finder. I think it's sort of like that. You can sort of sense them, and that will be important. But the only way to do that, right, is to have those legit and genuine connection with your Creator. So it seems that may be a necessary component, but. Yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time belaboring the point. This was never meant to be a big monologue or diatribe or anything. Just a brief, how do you do? I missed you guys so much, and I hope to be back with you real soon. So I hadn't really gone to the studio forever, like cobwebs on things. And literally, I went in there today. Actually, I went in there yesterday trying to figure out how I was going to do something this weekend because I promised Dad I would. And it was going to just take, again, hours to. I had things on top of things. Only reason I'd been in there is there's a storage room, stack other stuff in there, and so I couldn't even get to things. I just thought this is a mess, and I just kind of thought I'd come out here to pray. And when I did, I just I got nudged real hard just to spend some time with you guys as well. So here we are together. And if you came, I'm glad you did. And I missed you. And I hope to spend some more time with you before this is all done. And yeah, I think that's all I have for now. I hope you get the title. I thought it was a good joke. But I keep saying the jokes don't get any better. They don't stop, but they don't get any better. I hope you guys are doing well. Oh, since someone I think asked, whoops, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, I got, I don't know how to, this is gonna be done, right? So I got, yes, whoops, okay, it says it's locked, so I have to walk away. If you guys want to see, okay, it's gonna do its thing. So, oh, I guess you can't see me that way, huh? Well, I'll have to do it. Oh, this is very silly. So I'll do this then. This was difficult to do. It's only because I love you, right? So, but yes, I did. I lost a lot of weight. So now can you see? Woo! Woo! All right, guys. Hey, I love you. Thanks for stopping by on no notice, and thank you so much for those of you who saved my life and gave me space enough to find myself and get my feet under me again, and try to figure out the way forward. And I'm still not, entirely sure what that is. No, let me free. I don't know where that is, but I have an idea of what that is. So, with that, happy Independence Day to all of you, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. I better be careful. I wouldn't want to give anybody the wrong impression. I do go commando. Let's see. I'll tell you what. Let me just on the way out. You don't consent. Okay, good. Hey, Derek. Let me see if I can catch any of this chat here. Phil, Cymatics. Hey, Joe. I wish we were jamming too, man. I missed you much. Hey, Candace. Hi, Jenny. Hi, David. Mr. Cut. Hey, hipstress. I love you. Man, you're the best. Phil, Galintano. Hey, Mama Love. You guys. Hey, Long Yov. Lungs. Ah, you guys are awesome. I've missed you guys so much. Hey, loving the light. You guys are great. I missed you. Hey, Droid. Thanks, man. You guys are the best. It's crazy. I had no idea you guys even came here. I just was going to just drop a message and hope you guys found it. Um, so, anyway, thanks for stopping by. And I look retarded. I'm so sorry. It's very silly. Anyway, so we'll spend more time together, I'm sure. And I just realized this is probably the first for a lot of you guys to even see, even see I am a real boy. So, tell you what. Tell you what I'll do. I'll come over here. Give me just a second here. I know this is very silly. Um, I did not charge the keyboard for the iPad, so I'm not really. I was going to say I could do some Q&A stuff, but I can't really type. But I'll spend about 5 minutes, I guess. If you guys have questions or anything, I'll just give you some, shout outs or whatever. It really is a beautiful day here in Pacific Northwest. I'm in Gold Park. Yeah, okay, got your time. Okay, cool. Anyway, I love you guys. So. Billy Chano, man, you're funny, dude. That's awesome. Joe the Toe, no way, man. Yeah. Okay, guys. Look, I gotta get home to Mama. I went to the store and it's all crazy. I stopped to pray. I called Jeannie and David and I said, "Hey, would you join me and pray for me as I do this?" And they said, "Of course." And so here I am. Right. So now I'm gonna go home and I go, "Oh my God, what did I just do?" But I promised Dad that I would. He's been bugging me forever, and so I told him weeks ago that I would do it by the 4th of July, and I obviously dragging my feet and kicking and screaming, but here I am because I love you, and hopefully, this is going to be a challenging go. Hopefully, we'll go through it together, right? So. Um, for those of you who thought I left you, right, I'll never leave you. I needed to find a few things. And I don't know if I've found them, but I think I've found the tools. Um, or maybe better yet, right? How about this for a parting shot? One of the things I discovered is that often I think I challenge God and I pray in earnest or in vain, rather. I mean, earnestly, but in vain, because I think I know what the outcome should be, and so I pray for this outcome. Without realizing that I don't have all the information, and I'm unqualified to make the determination of what that outcome should be. And so then I get disappointed when I don't see the outcome that I asked for, and then I challenge him on why, blah, don't you love me, and all this rigmarole. Only to realize that what he had in mind was so much better, because I'm a tard, I am really like kind of spiritually retarded sometimes. And thank you, Wes Wharton, for that bit of insight. But yeah, I find that so much of my struggle with God, honestly, is my insecurities and inadequacies, and where I think that I'm right, and I'm just like, you don't love me because things aren't the way I like it, right? So kind of back to this idea. Let me bring it back around to suffering. We don't like it because it's uncomfortable and it hurts, and it's not the way we want it to be. It's not what we want, but we don't know, right? So. The suffering is often caused just because we don't get what we want, and what we want is an error. But what I do know is that I can trust Him, right? And so the biggest thing I think to be aware of, or this hyperbole, I don't want to do that. A major component of this thing of like knowing in your inner spirit where you can find and seek each other, right? But just mostly it's knowing Dad's voice, right? Knowing. Um, that intimacy, you must know. And the biggest, one of the biggest hindrances to that is fear, right? So fear closes that channel. It makes you unable to really be certain, and love opens it up, right? And so in moments of danger, if our first response is fear, we have a harder time hearing Dad. And if we are so attuned to him, to be ensconced, enveloped, surrounded by love, even under the most despicable of circumstances where people are wrongly accusing you of the most heinous things. If you can find it in your heart yet to love, then you can still hear that voice. And fear will drive you to do all kinds of things that, aren't going to help anybody. That's what I got for today, guys. I love you so much. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for being you. And be, like I said, be good cheer. I know that so many of us are really, really under a lot, like undue pressure, immense, enormous pressure. But he will never leave us or forsake us. And if we can listen, if we can be certain of that, well, then we're going to be okay. But it will calm your spirit for sure when you know that he's got you. I love you guys. Be well. See you again soon. Don't be a stranger. Send me an email. You know all the stuff. Unintended.consequences3@gmail.com. How do I stop this crazy thing? Like, I don't even know. Because that, save highlight, share, mute microphone. I'm live. Like, I don't do this stuff. I feel like a stupid boomer, but I never do this, right? So, oh, look, I got filters. I could choose from filters. That's awesome. Okay. Stop streaming. Yes. Okay. Love you guys. Be well.